and I don't know if this translates to everybody, but I view my job as when I'm the actor is to provide the director with what he wants or she wants. The classic story is, well, what's my motivation? What is my motivation to going to looking out the window? Your motivation to going to looking out the window is if you don't go out to look out the window, I don't get to cut to the bad guy at the phone booth down on the corner. So go look out the window. I don't see any reason to go look out the window. My job as the actor is to come up with a perfectly legitimate, truthful reason to go out and look out the window. And, you know, that's it. So that I give the director, the filmmaker who's making the film, what he or she needs in order to make the film.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about 10 of my favourite directors, not in any particular order, who have truly shaped how I experience movies and storytelling. Spoilers ahead if you haven't seen any of the films that appear in this video.
It's showtime.
So without further ado, let's begin with Christopher Nolan, the architect of mind-bending epics. I had to start with Nolan. The way he plays with time, memory and reality just blows my mind every time. Whether it's Inception or Oppenheimer, his movies are super complex, but they still hit hard emotionally, and they look incredible. He really knows how to make something smart and cinematic. The hallway fight in Inception says it all. No CGI, just rotating sets, and Nolan's obsession with realism. Next up, James Cameron, the technical trailblazer. Cameron's the kind of director who's always pushing boundaries, as he's behind Terminator 2, Titanic, and Avatar. Huge movies that always have real emotional weight. I love how he mixes groundbreaking visuals and stories that actually connect. This moment from Avatar shows his ability to blend emotion with spectacle on a massive scale. Now let's talk about Steven Spielberg, the master of wonder. Spielberg's movies are just pure magic. Movies like E.T., Jurassic Park and Indiana Jones. They are full of heart, adventure and unforgettable moments. He knows exactly how to bring out the sense of wonder while still telling really emotional stories. This scene from Jaws is a masterclass in suspense and iconic delivery. Spielberg in a nutshell.
Slow ahead. I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit. gonna need a bigger boat.
Shut off that engine.
That's a 20-footer.
25. 3 tons on them.
Then we've got Quentin Tarantino, the genre-defying rebel. Tarantino has such a bold style from Pulp Fiction to Kill Bill. His dialogue, music choices, and structure are always so unique. His movies feel like a mashup of everything he loves about cinema, but with his own wild twist. The Ezekiel scene in Pulp Fiction perfectly shows how Tarantino could turn a Bible verse into a monologue, this intense, stylish, and unforgettable.
You read the Bible, Brett?
Yes!
Well, there's this passage I got memorized. Sort of fits this occasion. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
And we can't forget about Martin Scorsese, the chronicler of American life. Scorsese tells stories that are so real and raw, whether it's Godfather or The Departed. It dives deep into characters and morality, usually in these high-stake, crime-filled settings. And the way he uses energy and pacing is just next level. This moment from Gangs of New York shows how Scorsese nails intimidation through pure presence.
You killed an elected official? Who elected him? You don't know what you've done to yourself. I know your works. You are neither cold nor hot. So because you are lukewarm, I will spew you out of my mouth. You can build your filthy world without me. I took the father. Now I'll take the son. You tell young Valen, I'm gonna paint Paradise Square with his blood. 2 coats. I'll festoon my bedchamber with his guts. As for you, Mr. Tammany hole, you come down to the points again, and you'll be dispatched by mine own hand.
Before moving on, here's some honourable mentions I want to give a shout out to, who are incredible directors who have left a huge mark on cinema. George Lucas, Sam Raimi, Matt Reeves, Tim Burton, and John Carpenter. Each have shaped modern films in a unique way. From Lucas building entire galaxies to Raimi blending horror and superheroes. Reeves crafting dark and moody worlds, Burton's unforgettable gothic style, and Carpenter's mystery of suspense. And now back to it with James Gunn, the cosmic storyteller. Gunn's got this wild energy to his films. He takes oddball characters, like in the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad, and makes you care about them. There's chaos humour, but also a ton of heart in his work. This scene shows how Gunn brings weird chaos and somehow makes it work.
Say, all James Dean should say, yeah, well, I feel all pretty happy too, and I'm always pretty happy when I'm just kicking back with you, and it be love, 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 all through our bodies, and love, 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 all through our minds, and it be love, 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 all over her face, and love, 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 all over mine, and though admittedly all these moments are just in my head, I'll be thinking about them as I'm lying in bed, and I know that admittedly they might not even come true, but in my mind I'm having a pretty good time with you.
Holy shit.
Now on to the Russo brothers, the superhero strategists. With Infinity War and Endgame, they pulled off the impossible, balancing massive casts, emotional stakes, and epic action. They really changed the game of how superhero films are made, especially on a big universe scale. And this is it, emotional payoff, massive scale, and the most earned line in superhero history.
Is that everyone? What, you wanted more? Assemble.
Now let's talk about Peter Jackson, the fantasy realizer. If you love epic fantasy, Peter Jackson's your guy. The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit feel so real and lived in. It's all because of his attention to detail. You can tell he's passionate about the source material, and it shows in every frame. This scene from The Fellowship hits hard with raw sacrifice wrapped in epic emotion. And next we've got Jon Favreau, the universe builder. Favreau basically helped launch the MCU with Iron Man, and he gave Star Wars a new life with The Mandalorian. He's great at blending action and character, and his work always feels like a turning point in whatever franchise he's in. This moment from Iron Man shows how he brought grounded intensity to superhero cinema right from the start.
He's all yours.
And last but not least, James Wan, the master of modern horror and action. Wan's one of the best when it comes to suspense and style. Saw, The Conjuring, Aquaman, he can do it all. The first Saw movie, which he co-created with longtime collaborator Lee Winnell, was a low budget, super intense, and it completely changed the horror genre. Winnell's influence is all over that early work, and together they kicked off a whole new era of the modern horror. This scene sets the tone for a whole new wave of horror, with how it's claustrophobic, twisted, and brutal. James Wan grabs you instantly.
Dr. Gordon, this is your wake-up call. Every day of your working life, you have given people the news that they're going to die soon. Now you will be the cause of death. Your aim in this game is to kill Adam. You have until 6 on the clock to do it. There's a man in the room with you. When there's that much poison in your blood, the only thing left to do is shoot yourself. There are ways to win this, hidden all around you. Just remember, X marks the spot for the treasure. If you do not kill Adam by 6, then Allison and Diana will die, Dr. Gordon. And I'll leave you in this room to rot.
So that is 10 of my favourite directors. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with my list and who's your favourite director or directors. And if you'd like me to do more videos like this one or any about directors. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. And I'll see ya in my next video.
People ask me, what's the best advice to someone who wants to be a director? And the answer I give is very simple. Be a director. Pick up a camera, shoot something, no matter how small, no matter how cheesy, no matter whether your friends and your sister star in it. Put your name on it as director. Now you're a director. Everything after that, you're just negotiating your budget and your fee.
When you're starting out particularly, you have to play to your strengths. You have to do something that really excites you. And whatever's different about that, in the case of following the non-linear structure, was a somewhat unusual choice. But it's those things that are the strength of the project. It's the things that you can bring to what you're doing or bring to the filmmaking craft that maybe not everybody else is doing, maybe not everybody else can do or is thought to do. That's what's going to distinguish the thing. For me, I think the answer was definitely to try to play to my strengths and the things that I personally was passionate about.
3, 2, 1, action!
For me, everything I did to do with the camera, to do with editing, was useful experience and stuff that paid off when I came to actually make features. And really everything you do, you learn from in terms of any time you're shooting something, short film, particularly short film. When you try to write the script for a short film, it's very difficult to write a short film. I think in some ways it's harder than for a feature to have a complete idea in just a few minutes and have a beginning, a middle, and an end, or have an appropriate conclusion. So you learn a lot about narrative structure doing shorter films. But really every job I did, including corporate videos and industrial training films and things where I'd have to go to a company and throw up some lights, shoot interviews, with executives and things like that. You're always learning about your craft. You're always learning about, how to balance the pragmatic requirements, the race against time, using the equipment you've got in a short space of time to sort of get something that you can use. It's all useful experience.
What's nice about doing my own stuff, one, I'm usually happy with my stuff, all right? And it's also very personal. Whatever is going on with me at the time will find its way into the piece. It has to, or the piece isn't worth making. All of my writing techniques, I never took any writing classes or seminars or anything like that, read any pamphlets. Everything I learned as an actor, studying acting for 6 years, I've basically applied to writing. I have to bring that experience on with me or what am I doing up there? All right, that is obviously going on with me at that time, and that needs to be on the stage. I'm not there unless I bring that on with me and make that work inside of the material. If I'm not, then you could just send a robot out there. That's just good acting. That's what you have to do. You can't deny anything. All right. Well, the same thing with me as a writer. If I was writing The Guns of the Navarone, all right, and then right at the beginning of writing it or in the middle of writing it, I break up with my girlfriend who I'm like madly in love with, and then my heart is shattered. All right, that's got to work into it. Now the story is still about a bunch of commandos going to blow up a couple of cannons. All right, but that pain that I'm feeling has got to find its way into this story, or else, what am I doing? I mean, that's why when people say, well, you're just making movies about other movies. I go, well, that's bull. I mean, to me, all my movies are, I'm working in a genre, no doubt about it. To me, all the movies are very personal, all right? When I look at them, and I don't mean like I'm some crook, all right? But the thing about it, though, is like, this group of friends will look at it and be like, oh, Quinn, I can't believe you talked about that. You should be semi-embarrassed about certain people seeing your movie, I think, when you're finished, if you're working on a personal level.
First rule is you can't do it all yourself. Even though you may know how to do many of these different tasks, you physically can't do it. And you need a team, and you need the respect and the trust of that team. So that was a lesson that took me a while to figure out, because at first I just wanted to do it all myself. I was like, you're doing it wrong. And that doesn't work. That doesn't ultimately achieve the vision, whatever the vision is, whether it's someone else's vision, or when in my case, when I started directing, it was my vision. I couldn't push people out of the way. I had to learn to inspire people to give me their best work. And I also had to learn to accept what they brought, even if it was either A, not as good, or B, good but just different from what I had imagined, and say that the end result of our collective efforts will be exactly that. It'll be all of our efforts together. It won't ever be exactly the way I imagined it. And that's, I think, an important lesson as well, is that in any group enterprise, it's going to be the sum total of the group. So choose your group well.
Harvey was, really took me under his wing on Reservoir Dogs. And one of the things that he taught me in auditions, and I've kept it to this day, is actors would come in and he would just say, Quentin, don't help them out in that very first reading. Don't give them any guidance. Don't tell them how you want the scene. Don't tell them what you're looking for. They've had the material themselves, and they've come up with their own thing. You will never, ever see what there was in their head the very first time unless you let them do it. An adjustment is the easiest thing in the world to give. And you're the director. They'll do whatever you say, but let them do their first shot at it, what they came up with. Yeah. And I've held on to that for 21 years, I guess.
What I try to do is just get to the essential image and the essential dialogue, and then try to do as much as possible without the dialogue. And I found that once I was able to get to those locations, the landscape was talking to me rather than my own vision, sometimes of a hectic kind of cutting. I said, pull back, take us to another time and place, and let's think. And the shots became simpler, and we poured a lot into the frame, taking advantage of what the ocean gave us, the rocks, the mist. By the way, that's not CGI. For example, the samurai coming in the village, I had it planned for a long time that Rodriguez and Garupe look down and they see a horse, a riderless horse, go through the village and kick up all the dust and everything in the forest, and the people are looking, and then the samurai come in and say, what a great, what a vision. I've had it for years in my head, if a horse is gonna go. So we tried it. First of all, there was no dust, it was all mud. And we're up on a hill, and the horse is going, and I said, isn't this dramatic? I imagine this like Kurosawa type horse, and oh man. I look at the two monitors, and it's white. They're both white. I said, what happened to the camera? He said, it's the mist came in. So I told Rodrigo, I said, shoot. He said, we're just going to rehearse it. Shoot, don't tell him. And that's what you see in the film. And so we went back and reshot the first part.
I remember when I was doing Saving Private Ryan, there was a scene between a couple other guys, and Spielberg moved on, and he was marching off to the next kind of little place he was going to shoot. And I said, Steven, don't you think we should have done a couple more takes of that thing, because it hadn't been great. He turned on a dime and he said, I could spend another hour on that scene and perhaps make it 10% better, or I can go do another great shot. I'm going to do the shot.
My whole love for this media comes from paying attention to the past and respecting all the movies that have been made over all of these years. And that's what I say to film students. You need to look at the old films. You know, I used to have to pay my kids $10 to watch a black and white movie. I actually brought them, if you watch this movie, and $10 is a lot of money when they're 12 years old. If you watch Red River with me, I'll give you $10. And I had a couple of my kids start the movie, and 20 minutes later, give me my $10 back and leave the room. It's not easy to get us all in the back. But if I continue to learn, not just from the films I've seen today, I can learn from the films that were made 70, 80 years ago.
You have a dream, and the dream isn't something you dream and then it happens. The dream is something you never knew was going to come into your life. Dreams always come from behind you, not right between your eyes. It sneaks up on you. But when you have a dream, it doesn't often come at you screaming in your face, this is who you are. This is what you must be for the rest of your life. Sometimes a dream almost whispers. And I've always said to my kids, the hardest thing to listen to, your instincts, your human personal intuition, always whispers, it never shouts. Very hard to hear. So you have to, every day of your lives, be ready to hear what whispers in your ear. It very rarely shouts. And if you can listen to the whisper, and if it tickles your heart, and it's something you think you want to do for the rest of your life, then that is going to be what you do for the rest of your life, and we will benefit from everything you do.
You don't have to know how to make a movie. If you truly love cinema with all your heart and with enough passion, you can't help but make a good movie.